Hello everyone, we are in our lovely Bowhunt or Die studio as we discuss not only bow hunting and hopefully shooting some big bucks this fall, but we were talking about bathroom etiquette. Somehow this creeped into our show before we started filming today, and as Justin and I somehow are the main ones that are always having to clean up our toilet at our office.
But if you talk to everybody that works here, they're also always cleaning it up as well. You'd think we have the most
we are going to throw a photo up here real quick, guys.
We are?
We are.
We're going to do this.
We're going to show the photo that you and I just walked into. We didn't go to the bathroom at the same time, okay?
I had to go to the bathroom prior
But the same
to
I sent you
filming.
this photo a week ago, dude. Does this look the same?
I know.
It's the same deal. Guys, we're going to
I don't even
flash
know
this
how
photo.
this
This photo
happens.
is up right now. We're flashing this photo. It's going to be a very
Take
quick
it down.
flash. It's gone.
Quick. We've seen it enough.
The point is, if you are one of these people, guys, take care of it. Clean the bathroom before you leave the bathroom.
Public service announcement.
Right.
Leave it better than you found it. It's like public land.
All right.
We all have to use it.
That's right. It's just like public land. Even private land. Just make it better. Okay, let's move forward, guys. Let's get into the action.
Great start to this week's episode.
This is a fun start to this week's episode. Comment below if you work in a facility that you have this same kind of problem, so that way Justin and I don't feel alone. And listen, I know we're not alone.
We had a company meeting.
I know,
we
we
talked
did.
to everybody in the company.
But beyond the company meeting, Justin, listen, I regularly take photos of toilets here and send it to a couple of my buddies that own businesses because like they have the same problems. And it's just like, how does this happen? Like, how do you walk out of the bathroom? Dude, I would be embarrassed if I left that.
Do people do that at home too? Like, is that what
Hey,
their home
dude, your
toilet
home
looks
is your
like?
home. Listen, what you do in your home, dude, you want to leave urine or whatever else in your bathroom at home, that doesn't matter. That home doesn't count. Justin, this is freaking, come on.
Welcome to Bowhunt or Die, where we talk
right,
about
let's
cleaning
move
your
on.
bathrooms and not being gross.
What do we got this week? Let's go.
We have 3 interesting, entertaining, and informative segments. So we're going to do Tim Ainsworth talking about soil health and clover. We're going to join Matt Miller as he goes and plants a food plot. And we're going to meet with Tom Alford, who's doing some mowing and native food sources. So
I got a
all
question.
food related.
I got another question for you too. This comes up on a lot of regular basis. I know we're getting long-winded here, but roll this. I really want your comments on this. Do you think years where we get more rain increases the size of bucks racks?
No.
That's your answer right off the bat? No.
Correct.
So lots of moisture has nothing to do with a good growing year for bucks racks.
If it does, I think it's so negligible you would never really notice
All right,
it.
well, we are going to get an expert on the phone. I know 2 people that we can call. We are going to address this topic the next time, or maybe we'll do a separate episode, because a lot of people always think that the more rain you get, for some reason, we got so much moisture, we got so much rain that
There's a lot of
racks grow
things
bigger.
hunters think that are based on
But we're going to ask 2 experts. I want to know the answer to this.
Fair enough.
All
All
right,
right,
let's
let's
move
get
on.
into these segments right now.
Good morning, guys. It's, I don't know, July 13th. Not an ideal day for planting a food plot, but I got a phone call last week from the farmer that cash rents the main farm that I hunt close to my house. And this year it was way too wet and he was not able to get anything in the ground, and he ended up cashing in a prevented planting policy on the farm. So the bad news is I don't have a crop growing out there right now, but the good news is Brad came over today. He's going to actually help me, and I get to plant whatever I want on this farm and basically have free reign. So didn't do a ton of planning for this. It's a little bit last minute. I didn't order seed. We're going to actually head to the store right now to go pick up some Antler King Red Zone that we're planning on putting in the ground today. Timing's absolutely perfect. We've got, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, Brad, something like that. And we got a rainstorm coming through later today as well. So as wet as it was this spring, it's actually been pretty dry right now. So if we can time this up with a storm, things should be perfect. So let's hit the road and let's go pick up some seed.
You realize you got a bigger sticker on your coffee mug than you do on your entire truck.
I know, I'm not a stickers on the truck kind of guy. I always worry that people are going to see the stickers of the truck and then connect the dots. And now I got people creeping all over my property trying to figure out what I've got going on. So I try to be undercover and covert. I don't know if it works or not.
I think you're a little paranoid.
I'm definitely paranoid.
Are we not going to grab any snacks?
I don't know. What do you think we need?
I always go for the peanut caramel clusters.
There you go, dude.
These things are good.
It's the last thing I need to be eating right now. But let's throw them in the cart. They still got it in stock. And that's a good thing. Antler King Red Zone. So one of the awesome things about this product is you can find this in pretty much any store, pretty much anywhere you're located. So if you're like me and you don't plan well ahead of time, you know, whether it's Tractor Supply or Farm and Fleet or a variety of different feed dealers, feed and seed type places, you're going to find this product close to home if you look for it. So if you get on their website, they actually have a dealer locator where you can find it locally. And it's good because they're saving our behind this year because I can pick this up fast. I didn't plan for this one, so let's get out of here and let's go get this stuff in the ground. Dude, I don't know what I feel like about carrying a camera around in public places. It's always a little bit awkward. You always get a couple of funny stares from people, so it is what it is. Dude, this is about to be the slowest ride you've ever been on in your life. I'll see you in approximately 20 minutes. That right there is a Boone and Crockett mosquito. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he looks hungry. Some of you guys might recognize the spot we're sitting in right now. So this is the spot where I took that big swing in the miss last year late season on that buck I call half rack. So this is a deer that's been on this farm for a number of years. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a 5-year-old this year. And last year out of the tree right behind where Brad is sitting, I took a shot at him with a crossbow. It was probably the middle of December or so, and I absolutely whiffed on it. So the reason we're putting this food plot in here today is I am going to try and hold this deer right where it is. This block of timber to the north of us, this is his core bedding area. I've gotten hundreds of pictures of him in here during daylight, and he tends to live here almost year round. And I know, based on the pressure from the neighbors both east and west, if I can put some solid food right here, I'm hoping I can hold him right in close to his bedding area so that he doesn't get killed before I get a chance to put an arrow in him. So he wandered a little bit last year. I know guy hunting to the east got a look at him last year, and I've got guys, you know, just on both sides of this property that put some pretty heavy pressure on. So the goal is hold the deer here so that Matt can shoot it. So we're going to get set up here. We're going to map out exactly where this plot's going to be. And once we get started, we'll give you guys another quick update. Well, one of the things that I just did is I actually paced off exactly how I want this food plot laid out, and I marked it with those HME camera sticks just so I have kind of a quick visual representation of where this plot is supposed to be. A lot of guys are putting way too much seed in the ground for the size of plots that they're putting in, and you just don't need to do it. It's a complete waste. And you know, if you walk it out and pace it off, it doesn't have to be exact, but you get it pretty close, and you'll have an idea exactly where you want that plot laid out so that you can optimize your shot angles, you have it actually laid out, and you have the correct amount of seed in the ground. So that's a good tip for you guys that are putting food plots in. So I gotta get on this tractor. I've got a lot of tilling to do. I'm gonna go get after it. Man, it's hot out here. But I got everything turned over the first time with the tiller, and now it's time to get some seed in the ground. So I showed you guys earlier, we're going to use Antler King's Red Zone. So as you can see, the beauty of this stuff is there's actually a variety of different seeds in here. So it's primarily peas, beans, it's got some buckwheat, and it's also actually got some sunflowers mixed in as well. So your pea vines will actually grow up those sunflower stems as the sunflowers mature a little bit. So it's a great plot. It's something that's got a little bit of food that can target both early, mid, and late season. They'll hit those peas and beans just as late as it can be, as long as there's still some standing. And that's the goal, because this spot in here tends to be really good all year round, and I want food all year round for them in here. So it's not ideal planting conditions. The soil's awful dry right now, but what we'll do is we'll get this broadcasted, and then I'll go back over it a second time with a tiller, which is going to take a while, but we should be able to get about the ideal planting depth. They say you can both broadcast or drill this stuff into the ground, so we'll do a broadcast, try to get it in about 3/4 to an inch deep. You don't want to go any deeper than that. I know a lot of guys, they think they've got to really turn the ground and really get after it with a full plow, and you don't need to do that. You need 3/4, maybe an inch deep for this type of a seed, and then you just kind of pray for some rain and let nature do what it does best.
Isn't this fun?
Not really. Let me tell you, I'm done with that. It's wicked hot out here. I'm guessing it's close to 90 degrees right now, and this tractor puts off heat like an oven. So I'm gonna run around real quick with Brad and probably go pull a couple of memory cards and see if we can't get some pictures of Half Rack. That video that you guys saw earlier, he was just over on the other side of the farm last night right before dark, so I got a couple cameras over there. I'm gonna go check and see if we don't have pictures of him. So we'll be back. Hopefully we kill a big buck in here this year, doing all the right work, and you know, we just need things to line up and a little stroke of luck, and you know, maybe next time you guys see me in this spot, I'll be sitting behind Half Rack. So until next time, guys, bow hunt or die.
Hey guys, happy Father's Day. Today's June 16th, right around 2:45, and the wife was gracious enough to allow me to come up here and get some spring chores done. Yesterday we planted an experimental food plot, which I'll talk about here in the coming weeks. And we're just getting out here getting stuff done, including getting an idea of fawn recruitment. I got the stealth cam here that we're gonna put out here on the plot that we call Gateway, to get an idea of how many does at this point are carrying fawns. So what we'll do is we'll put out the stealth cam, see any pictures of does we get with fawns, does without fawns, and we'll get a rough idea of where our deer herd stands in the future. But I wanted to take this this time to talk about soil health while we're up here. So Gateway, which we stand right now, is usually a fall food plot, and we'll plant a mix of turnips, brassica, rye, and winter peas in our fall food plots, and we'll do that for 3 years. The reason we stop after 3 years is because we're inviting a number of problems, including disease, pests, and we're depleting the soil of quite a bit of nutrients because we can plant the same plant over and over again for 3 years, even though we fertilize, you know, quite heavy. And so what we'll do is, after we've planted that fall mix for 3 years, we let the food plot go into a state of rest. And so what we do is we plant a perennial clover mix, specifically the trophy clover mix. And what it's got in there is a mix of different perennial clovers, including the white clover. You can see the flowers here behind me. And the reason we choose clover as our food plot for a state of rest, if you will, is for a number of different reasons. One is its nutrients. We frost seed the clover in February. It comes up in the spring at a time where the deer herd needs those nutrients. Clover is 30% protein, and those fawns are brand new in the spring. The does are producing milk, and so providing that protein for the does to eat, creating healthy milk for the fawns, will help those fawns to grow. And then as those fawns transition over to the green food sources, that protein once again in the clover is going to help those fawns to grow up healthy. The other thing is the bucks. The bucks are growing those big antlers. Providing that protein for them helps them to grow even bigger antlers, and we all like to see those big antlers. So, number one, nutrients. The next thing is erosion resistance. So if I take a handful of this stuff right here, there's one handful. You can see how much organic matter we have there. If this were an exposed food plot, you can see the slope here behind me. If we were to get a heavy rainfall, nothing here, just barren ground, that rain would hit the surface and just wash away our topsoil and all that important nutrients. Clover's got a really extensive root system. And so as that rain falls through the clover, that root system grabs up the water, holds the nutrients in place, and we don't lose it. The other thing is Gateway's up on this ridge, and you can probably hear the wind at this point. It's pretty exposed to wind, so as the soil dries, that wind can then blow the dry soil away, taking away our nutrients and important topsoil. So, second reason, erosion resistance. Next reason is organic matter. Because of its extensive root system, and as the new clover grows, the old stuff dies back, we're increasing the percentage of organic matter, which is very important in growing plants in the future. And lastly is clover's ability to fix nitrogen. And so the way it works is clover is a legume, and inside its root system there's these nodules that host a bacteria. There's, I believe 78% nitrogen in the atmosphere. The plants are unable to use that nitrogen until it's in the ground. And so the clover works in collaboration with this bacteria in its root system to grab the available nitrogen and fix it into the ground. And then the clover exchanges carbon to that bacteria, and it's a nice, collaboration between the bacteria and the clover. What's nice is, as this clover plot grows for its 3 years of rest, it's fixing 150 pounds of nitrogen per acre for that fall food plot. So what we'll do is we'll let it grow for its 3 years in its state of rest. We'll kill this clover back with some Roundup, and then plant that fall mix right back on top. And that 150 pounds of nitrogen that it fixed into the soil acts as a free fertilizer. Turnips love nitrogen, and we don't have to pay for that fertilizer because we fixed it. So we got nutrients, we got erosion, organic matter, and free fertilizer. It's important to fight back that disease resistance. You can't continually plant the same thing over and over again. So if you have the time, guys, come out in the spring, frost seed your clover, give that food plot a little rest while still providing nutrients for the deer, and you're going to see exponential return in your fall food plots here in the future. So we're going to go get back to our chores. We got a lot to do. We're running out of time. But I just wanted to check in with you guys, show you some of the things that we do for soil health, and we'll see you here a little later on in the summer. Bow hunt or die.
Alright guys, well it's June 19th and what do you know, it's raining again. It seems like this spring it's been raining like crazy, and unfortunately for us and the farmers, we have not been able to get a lot of food in the ground early. So eventually we will get food in the ground, but right now what I want to focus on is mowing. I do a lot of mowing every year, and it seems to really work well for me. Where that machine is parked is actually where I shot that buck last year. We call it the Smoke City stand. And basically this area was unhuntable. It was a total brush, nasty buckthorn mess. And I came in and mowed it all down, and what do you know, all sorts of volunteer food starts coming out of the ground. It opens up new browse lines for the deer to follow. It gives them visibility when they want to come in and browse. I opened up a bunch of apple trees in this particular spot, but what amazed me was the amount of clover that actually comes up when you mow. Obviously clover is a great food source for deer. There's a lot of natural dogwood and viburnum in this area also. I obviously have a big machine. I use it for my main job, landscaping. I bought that mower. It's incredible. This machine is rentable. You can rent this thing for about $700 a day. Now that's a lot of money, but you can do a lot of work fast with it. or you can always go the tractor route with a 3-point hitch and a brush mower. Or you know what, if you've got a smaller area, you could go rent a little walk behind brush mower for 80 bucks. But like I said, you get huge results out of mowing, so that's what I'm going to do today. Okay, so right here is a perfect example of a spot that I mowed last year. As you can see, all the underbrush is about 3 feet tall right now, and it needs to be mowed again for sure. But I've got buckthorn, honeysuckle, and dogwood in here, and I want to show you guys why I do this. Not only does it create a great shot opportunity, that was my stand right there, that's the Smoke City stand. This woody type of brush and shrubs creates a great food source. Now look right here, you can see this. The deer come in here and they're eating the tops right off that buckthorn and that honeysuckle. You know, I mean, doesn't look like a lot, but they're in here eating the tops right off of it, you know, and they can stand and they can see, and they love it when it first grows up. And I think, you know, the new growth every year is much softer and it's much more palatable for deer. But every tip on all these little buckthorns and honeysuckles eaten off. That's what we want to see, especially right in front of our stand. Okay, so I've got a little section of this mowed, but I wanted to show you something. As far as opening up the browse line, what I mean by that is, this is an old apple tree. So what I'll do is I leave this, I mow close to it to get the clover and the volunteer dogwood to grow back up. But then it also leaves this little line here, okay? This is all the dogwood. And the only reason I don't want to mow it is because right here, it's producing fruit on the top of the plant. So the stuff that's a little bit bigger and more established will produce a berry so that the deer can feed on. So just a couple little things to watch out for. There's all sorts of different natural fruits and berries in the woods. And now the deer can get under here and feed on the ground and feed up above. Right here are all these apple trees. Now last year you couldn't even see them. But what I'm going to do is get in and around here and open this forest floor up. When the apples do drop, it'll be nice and easy for them to come in, feed underneath that tree, make a scrape, eat the clover. And actually we're probably going to move our stand to that big pine tree just because it works better on a west wind. So get back to work.
You know, Justin, it's episodes like this that just make you realize how much of a real deer hunter you are. I mean, it's doing all these little things on these different pieces of property that just get you jacked up about wanting to get out there that fall and sit in the tree stand. Whether or not you see any deer or not, or whether that clover is gonna produce more milk, which is gonna crank out more fawns, the bottom line is, us bow hunters and deer hunters will do just about anything to attract more deer to our properties.
So if I don't do that stuff, am I not a real hunter then?
That I don't know.
That's kind of what I took away from that conversation.
No,
right
I think
there.
public land hunters, and I think all of us have hunted different properties where we can't do any food plotting at all, but I think the reality is we are definitely in an area where if you have property where you can make improvements, dude, it feels good. I mean, I like it. I mean, I like being able to do little things to my property. You know, people make fun of me because I got 1 million apple trees and it looks like kind of the Ritz-Carlton on this little 50 acres. But you know what?
Does the Ritz-Carlton have apple trees though? I don't think they're really known
but
for
they're,
that.
you know, you're manicuring your trees and you're mowing, you're making, I probably have scared more deer off of my property than everybody else doing what I do, but I got to tell you, I love doing it and I think it's fun.
Toddy Appleseed over here. Well, it was actually fun to watch those guys doing some work. It's always interesting to see whether that pays off or kind of what happens comes fall, but it's definitely the time of year where if you're going to do food, it's just about time to start getting it in the ground for the fall.
And let's talk about payoff real quick, because I think that's the most important thing. If you're sitting back, you're watching episodes like this, and you're thinking about what can I do and where can I do it, I think there is always a payoff. I mean, you look at Tim and Troy and the work that they've done on their property, there's no doubt they have been able to attract more deer more regularly, for sure. Look at Tommy on the lease that we have together. You know what, the bottom line, he hunts out there more than me and you combined, and we only lease that property, we don't own that property, and you know what, he has absolutely made that place a better place compared to when we first moved into it.
There's no doubt.
There's no question about it. Miller, this year, crazy year, guys. I mean, at least where we live, you can drive around. There is more unplanted property than I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
all over the place.
And a lot of times what they're doing now is they're just going to go kill it with Roundup. Nothing's going to be there whatsoever. This is an opportunity, no question, for Matt to put all that effort in, and he 100% can probably attract more deer. And again, that's a lease. He doesn't own that property. So
Yeah, definitely. So,
be interesting to see.
guys, next up we are going to thank the people who sent in their photos for this week's episode, and then I'm going to kick Todd's butt for having his phone in here and not
guys,
putting it on
things
silent.
happen.
All right, let's take a look at the trophy photos.
You want to start this one?
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
You ready, Brad?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we were going to actually go live with that. It would have been kind of funny. Dude, we got to loosen up, man.
What do you mean?
Life is short. We got to loosen. That would have been fun. It would have been a fun way to start. You want to do this? Oh, yeah, I'll do this.
Blaine Cannon.
Chad Mullins.
Darren Decker.
Ryan Groover.
Troy Cruz.
And Vic Cardinal. Well, Ryan, you were this close to winning. This close. The Hunter Specialty Prize Pack, but unfortunately you got outbeat because we don't know if you had a bow, a gun. Where's your? You
Got
forgot
no
it?
weapon.
No weapon.
No bow in the photo, so
Sorry.
he gets DQ'd.
Vic, you are the winner, and not only the winner, you happen to win on a really good day because we got the all-new Hunter Specialties hammocks. They just came in. I don't know if you saw them yet or not.
Buck bombs.
Dude, they're cool. Yeah, but the hammock for making mock scrapes, you're gonna love this product. We're gonna add it to the prize
I get
pack
it. It's
this
like
week.
a play on words. The hammock. Get it? Like a mock scrape. Hammock. It hangs in it. Oh, man.
Oh man.
Marketing geniuses. Congratulations to
Congratulations.
Vic. Good photo. Heck of a great deer, too, by the way. Look
Remember,
at that thing.
guys, hashtag bowhunterdie. We've been even more active on our Instagram page lately, so you know
We
what?
got to give a special shout
other
out
chances to win.
to Blaine Cannon for having the coolest name. Blaine Cannon. What a great name. So, congratulations to Blaine on having a cool name.
But
let's
Blaine,
end the
if
show.
you look
Come on.
really close, we're
Hold
done
on.
here. But if you look really close, Blaine, you like lost immediately because look how dark your photo is compared to all these other people. Guys, come on, use the flash if it's that dark. You got to do something. All right,
When
that's
you're Blaine
it.
Cannon, you just do whatever you want. You're like, I don't
That's
need
it
a
for this
flash, I'm Blaine
episode of
Cannon.
Bowhunter Die, guys. We are getting even closer to these bucks being maxed out. I am seeing some antler growth. How about you? You got nothing. I am disappointed in you this year. There is something going on. You got nothing. You haven't showed me a photo. You got any cameras out yet?
Yeah, 2 cell cameras running.
That's it.
That's it.
Guys, Justin is either going to have mega year because of his Iowa thing, or I'm going to kick his butt. With that
Whatever
being said,
happens-
Bowhunter Die, this one's out.
Happens.
Ryan Groover.
Troy Cruz.
And Vic Cardinal. Whoa.